Okay, guys, we gotta move on
Okay.
to Daphne. I think this will be quick. Um,
Very.
sorry.
Yeah, her 2 episode appearance.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, I enjoyed what she said when she was there, though. Like, I thought, especially her speech to Anthony right before he got married. Sorry. when he's
Almost
about
got
to.
married, yeah.
Yeah, when she said, which I felt like that was a line, when she said, all these decisions you keep making for our family that you resent us for, like, it's not doing anything. And I thought that was really a good line because there was a lot of, like, I felt like that was his thing in season 1, too, was him making all these decisions and being like, it's for my family, even instead of, like, actually listening to what the family wants / needs or, like,
Yeah.
what they're asking of you. Like, Anthony, we need you to get married, but we're not asking you to marry somebody you don't care about at all. But he obviously, for legit reasons, he's putting that upon himself. So I felt like Daphne was reading him well in that scene. And I don't know, Dom said she felt animosity. I did not. I felt like it maybe, especially too because I watched the first season, I felt like Daphne and Anthony are actually pretty, like, close.
Yeah.
Like she's closer to him than she is with Eloise, in my opinion.
Oh,
Like,
for
I
sure.
think,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah, I think they talk, and, like, even the whole, like, when he was picking up the flowers and he's like, oh, I have to get one for Daphne or else she'd be jealous. Like, I think they do have a very sibling relationship, like, very much like, you're kind of annoying sometimes, but I'm gonna stick beside him. Like, that's the vibe that they give me, and I thought it was well done. She did what she needed to do. I never felt like in any scene that she was there I was like, ugh, like, why? Like, I felt like she fit in properly, and I liked her during Pall Mall, and it was good. And she was the only one peeping game because everybody else was closing their eyes when they were looking at Kate and Anthony. But whatever. That's what I felt.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, she came, she did what she had to do. She was. I feel like I liked the amount that she was there. Like, if they had to try to
Yes.
fit her in more, I would have been like, why? Like, this is just like I guess some people, like, I know, like, people like my mom who have no idea how this stuff works. She's like, how the series works. She's like, why isn't the Duke in the season? Like, blah blah blah. But, like, I get it. Like, I'm glad that they were, like, not part of it, even though, like, they could have easily made them a bigger part of the show, because of, like, I guess, like, the fan reception or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They could have easily, like, tried to shove him in more scenes, but I'm glad that they, like, kind of held the ground a little bit and, like, nah, like, she's very much a background character in this, like, storyline. But yeah, no, I think she was giving some good advice. Like, I like that she was, like, talking some sense into Anthony, being like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you can't be playing one girl, marrying another. You got to figure out what you're doing. Like, so yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, okay, listen. I don't hate Daphne. I just kind of meh. Like, obviously I liked her and Simon in season 1. Obviously that was a great, like, love story, and although the last few episodes they got married and they basically fell out of love, it was just really weird to me. Like, it's just how it appeared or it seemed. But no, okay, for me, I know she wasn't really a big part of this season, and that's okay. And when she was here, she had purpose. She said what she needed to say to Anthony. I just didn't find her particularly close with her siblings. If anything, like, you don't see her interacting with, like, anyone else besides Anthony, which I guess is fine if they're some of the eldest, but she's the 4th eldest. Like, she's the 4th child. So I don't know. I figured, like, she'd at least try with Eloise a little bit more. But it seemed like the two of them very much stayed away from each other, which for some reason bothered me. I guess sisters don't have to be close necessarily, but I was hoping to see that from her, like, closer with her sisters. But in terms of her relationship with Anthony, I don't know. I found it kind of, like, a little bit strange. Like, Anthony takes on a lot, as we saw, based on flashbacks with Violet and her expectations of him. But I found that, like, I don't know, the two of their scenes, like, yes, she said what she needed to say to him, and he listened, I guess, when he needed to. But it seemed very tense. And I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. I will say, though, I'm going to pull up Paula Abdul. Her style, she looked great. She looked great this season. Like, the hair was great.
I
loved her
little bangs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Like, the actress, like, she's stunning. Like, she looked great. And the thing is, though, is, like, for me, I wish I liked Daphne more. But to be honest, I think it's okay that I don't, because we're not focusing on her anymore. But no, in terms of how I feel, I think kind of just still like a meh character to me. I haven't really changed my thoughts. Like, she was great last season, but I'm just kind of here. She's kind of there, you know. But go ahead, Alex. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like watching season 1, I really loved the story, and then now that I have season 2, I'm like, was it as great as I remember it? So like for me, I feel like they kind of shelved Daphne. They're like, okay, we're done with you. Like you're a wife, you're a mom now. That's great. And part of me was like kind of upset by that, but at the same time, if you rewatch season 1, like that's her ambition, right? Is like she wants to be a mother so bad, like that's her entire story. So I have to tell myself that it's okay for her to have that like narrative. But I feel like moving forward, it might become a pet peeve of mine if that's what they do with the old leads. Season. It's like, you know what, married life, we get to see them like 4 times, they give a little bit of advice, we see them with their kids, all as well. Like I feel like that might bother me, so I hope that I feel like they will incorporate more Kate and Anthony, especially because they own the house that all the Bridgerton siblings will be living in, like so like it's going to be like a good family dynamic. But I know that the Duke is gone for, you know, we know the reasons he's gone, but I feel like it kind of like disillusions the viewer because we're smarter than that. Like we're like, all right, contracts, like maybe they didn't give him enough money, but if they do this for 6 seasons where it's like, oh, the Duke is at whatever castle or he's tending to business, whatever, like that will really bother me. And I've seen some people how they're talking about that it like reinforces like the absentee like dad narrative, and I was like, okay, I see that. I see that too. So I will be rolling my eyes if like they continue to bring Daphne back and it's always like, how's the Duke, like where's he at, and it's like, oh, he's gone, girl. So
yeah, that'd be really weird.
I don't know, but I think Daphne is an interesting character because she's like the oldest daughter, but I do see the relationship between her and Anthony, and I feel like with her sisters, she is like, we can just be siblings. We don't have to be friends. I feel like she has like more of a camaraderie with like the older Bridgerton boys than her younger siblings. But
for sure. Okay, so for the interest of time, Monica's going to say her thoughts on Edwina, Kate, and Anthony, and we're going to echo them because I'm sure we have the same thoughts. But go on.
I just have very passionate feelings about this, and I need to get this out. Okay. So, it's nothing crazy. Listen. I went into this season and I listen, the first season Bridgerton, I was not like the biggest fan of it. I was like, you know, it was there. I watched it. It was fine. Like I wasn't like crazy about it or anything. So when season 2 was coming out, I was honestly not really like interested that much. Like I was like, whatever. Like it's coming. And then Anne's like, we're going to do an episode. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll watch it. Like I'm going to see what's going to happen, whatever. But then when you tell me that there is like rivals to lover, you know what? I know we like to call it rivals
enemies to lovers.
I'm like, sign me up right now. Yep. Like better enemies to lovers, like bad situation. Like I don't know how to explain this one, but it's like better than, I don't know what they were trying to do enemies to lovers with the Duke and Daphne. Nah, like that's not what I'm talking about. This is enemies to lovers. This is how you do enemies to lovers. Like
and slow burn. We love
like First of all, okay, with Edwina, like I like Edwina. She's so cute. She's so like, you know, great sister. Like everything she did made sense. Like I get how she was like upset at the end, you know, where like it made sense, you know, like she was basically being used as like a pawn, I guess, to try to like save their family. That kind of sucks. But yeah, I like Edwina. I want better for her. You know what I mean? Like I think she deserves like a nice little boyfriend or whatever, like, you know. And I don't know if they're gonna have her in the next seasons or not, but I mean, we'll see.
I hope so.
I hope so. That's what I'm saying. I hope eventually. I don't know how they'll fit her in there, maybe, but I don't know. I think she deserves, you know, a happy ending too. But I like that, like, you know, at the end she was there for her sister. Like obviously she had every reason to be like, nah, I'm not talking to you anymore, you're rude, whatever, you stole my boyfriend, you stole my husband or whatever. But you know, she did it, and I was like, yeah, you know, that's cool. Kate and Anthony, like, that is how you do a main couple. That is how you do a main couple. Literally, that's why all these other characters, like, my opinions are so bland on them, because who the hell was caring about them? I literally was watching this for Kate and Anthony. Like, I was literally like trying to skip through the scenes where they were not in it, And I was like, just give me more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they could have been the only 2 characters in the show, and I would have been like, cool. Yeah, I love them. I think like Simone Ashley acted her little ass off for this role. I think she was perfect in this role. I remember seeing her in like Sex Education, and I was like, oh, interesting. Like, this is like a totally different character and like way more lines, way more like screen time. And I was like, interesting. Let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah, like I think it was amazing. I would like excellent. That couple, I could literally go and rewatch that. That's why I'm like, I don't even know what's going on with the other characters, with the discourse. I'm just looking at like Kate and Anthony compilation clips on Twitter. Like, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? So like, that's it. I was just like, yes, perfect. This is great. And I know they changed a little bit from the books. Like, I heard in the books that like, if like they're
it's a marriage of convenience.
Yeah, like they get married first and then whatever. I like the way they did it. I like the slow burn. I like the dramatics of like the leaving the altar. Perfect. It reminded me, like, it gave me like, I don't know why, but it gave me like Princess Diaries vibe.
Yeah,
I guess, like
I knew you would think that.
Princess Diaries,
with the gun,
Diaries
especially.
I think
the archery,
especially.
Yeah,
the archery
exactly,
/gun
exactly.
thing.
So I was like, this is amazing. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Excellent. If you haven't watched Bridgerton and you're thinking of like season 2 or whatever, watch it just for them. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
Yes, they're actually perfection. Sorry.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Yes. Monica does have to go, but the clear consensus is that we are Canthony supremacists or whatever. Like Okay. We're back. And it's me, Dom, and Alex. We're gonna continue the episode on because we can never stop talking. I'm gonna be talking about Edwina, and I'll be obviously talking about Edwina and Kate's relationship because it's literally how Edwina exists mostly in the story. I liked Edwina. I did. Mm-hmm. I felt bad for her, but then I just felt like there were a lot of inconsistencies. This is maybe where the plot needed I don't know, the script needed one more pass, if you ask me. Although this is me being nitpicky, I obviously very much enjoy this season. There's like almost perfection. But I did think, I thought it was crazy that they got to the altar. I didn't think that should have
that was uncalled for.
Yes. Like, literally, she was seconds away from marrying a guy who said that he was gonna cheat on her with her sister. Like, that's where y'all were at. I was waiting for the night before the wedding. I assumed that would be when stuff went down. I thought Kate would finally like spill over somehow. I don't know, or like the news would come out somehow. Like, just something. I expected it to be like something happened the night before, and then they wake up the next day and Anthony's like alone at the altar. That's literally what I thought was gonna happen. And I'm sorry, I would have preferred it that way because I just felt like it was absolutely insane that if her bangle hadn't fell,
oh god,
Edwina would be married to Anthony.
Yeah,
are you serious?
Yeah, it was so out of. We were saying before the show,
bruh.
Yeah, Alex and I were saying before we started the podcast, before we started the show, that it was so out of character for Kate to let it go on this long. Like, she, is a very like morally strong character. She loves her sister. She loves her mother. She wants what's best for her. And yet she was going to self-sabotage and really get to that point. And I also thought it was going to be like, okay, it's the day of the wedding. Okay. And she's going to call it off. Kate's going to tell her something. No, they literally walked down the aisle. And it wasn't until she snapped off her bangles, which I thought was so bad when he went to go pick it up. I was like, this is so bad. Yep. And all of a sudden, Edwina's now figuring it out. And then, that just caused, Anyway.
Like, at the altar, bruh. Like,
that was too much.
Even backstage, I know that's not what it's called, but if she had dropped her bangle backstage and then Edwina saw that, like, before she walked out, like, that would have been more okay with me because I cannot wrap my head around the fact that if it had not been for that immediate moment.
I don't know if we needed to see the sisters like face morph too, like with the veil and shit. I was like, this is a little too much.
It's it was giving too much drama, like too dramatic, like bruh. And I also felt what was inconsistent. I agree with this. I feel like episode 5 and 6 was a little bit too inconsistent with the characters for me, like in terms of their motivation / actions. First of all, my roommate Sarah brought up, she's like, why would Kate want her sister to marry somebody who so clearly is not in love with her?
Right.
And when she fully said the whole time that she wants her sister to have a true love match. Not only is he not in love with her, he fully said, I can't be around you because I would cheat on your sister with you. Like, that's
big facts, Sarah. Like, that needed to be said.
Right? So she's like, why would you want your sister to settle with somebody like that? Like, and if it's not you, it will be some other girl. No? Apparently, like, because he clearly, hello?
Yeah.
Like, what's not clicking? Like, I understand, like, she's like, oh, my sister loves him. But it's like, where's the part where Kate's a protective sister and says, like, hey, you might love him, but he does not love you. Like, I would have been okay with that more. Like, if she was like, just know that you're going into this marriage without love. And it would be different if that's what she told her, but they didn't mention the part where, like, she had feelings too. That I would have been more...
That would have been amazing. That would have, like, hit the nail on the head. Like, that would have left an impact, I feel.
Yeah. Right? Because it'd be like Edwina's choice to still go on with it. And then finally she realizes, wait a minute, he's not void of love. He's void of love for me. He likes Kate. Like, that would have been a good, like, shock twist thing, you know? And it would have been consistent with both their characters, because I feel like Kate is still being protective, but also not necessarily revealing all her cards, because she hasn't even come to terms with the fact that she's in love with him, you know? Right. So I felt like that would have made more sense. And then the other inconsistency I found was after, when Edwina was still considering marrying Anthony. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Girl.
Girlfriend, no. Immediately, no.
Girl.
Immediately,
like,
no.
And by the way, I'm saying, I love both their characters. I thought they were really well done.
Yeah.
I think these actions were what was weird to me, because I can understand both their characters, and because I understand both their characters, even from the show, the actions that were done there didn't make sense to me. Like, I was like, that doesn't really, like, connect. Like, why would Edwina be considering marrying a guy who... like, one, that Kate has feelings for. I feel like that's weird already. But two, he clearly, like, has a thing for her too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be different, for example, if she's like, oh, I just found out that Kate has feelings for him, and that's making me feel weird, because, like, I don't want to betray my sister, but at the same time, like, what am I about to do with that? But it's, and I felt... Sorry, I'm rambling, but
no, it's okay.
Like, when she kept asking her, like, are you in love with him? Do you have feelings for him? But I was like, is that what's important? Or is it also, like, not as equally important that he has feelings for her?
Right.
Like, yes, so what if Kate is in love with him? Technically speaking, that's not a selfish thing. Like, for Kate to be secretly in love with your husband isn't the problem. The problem is that they both reciprocate the feelings, because you could see that if a sister was in love with her sister's fiance and she kept that a secret, you could see how that's actually love for the sister. Like, it's like, I'm putting my feelings aside for you to get married.
Yeah.
So I felt it was so weird that Edwina was harping on that. Like, I can't believe you had feelings for him the whole time and you didn't tell me. Like, I guess, like, does that make you mad? Like, I feel like that point alone would make you more sad about your sister. Like, you know? I don't know. But that's just how I felt. But other than that, Edwina was a really good character. I felt like she was really eloquent. But I'll let you guys, we'll continue the discussion, but I'll let you talk, Dom.
Yeah, so I liked Edwina. I mean, she wasn't my favorite character of the season, but I do think she was very important, and I agree with everything you're saying. I will say, though, just touching on your point about how she was really mad at Kate, I think that was just like, that wedding, that whole situation was just the tipping point, I think, for her, because, you know, she was hoodwinked, gaslighted up until that point. And then all of a sudden, and then she gets down the aisle and then she's like, oh shit, my man would rather go and get my sister's bangles than look me in the eye. like if your man, like, if you imagine you're at the aisle, your bridesmaid, your maid of honor drops her bangles and he's like, let me help you, and he dives to the ground, I'd be like, all right, let's wrap this up.
I was screaming.
I would, like, kick him down while he's there. Be like, okay, you and the Bengals, yeah. But but
I get what you're saying though. That's true.
Yeah. So I think to me, I thought it made sense for the storyline because she's at her breaking point now with Kate. I was a little annoyed with Kate in that season. I keep saying like episode 6, I try not to acknowledge it until the end when they the last 2 minutes of the episode I enjoy. But like, no, I don't. I think it went way too far. I recognize this is Shonda, right? So she's trying to give us all the drama and make us think something's going to happen. Like I truly thought they were actually legit going to get married. And that this was like, I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. Get out of this? I was like, yeah, like, what are we gonna do here? Like, so it was interesting. But no, in terms of characters, I really liked Edwina. I loved like her intro. She's just adorable. I agree with Monica. She's so sweet. So cute. And I like. Yeah, I liked when we saw her fiery side when she was starting to get angry. And when Anthony says to Kate in the closet, she was harsher than I expected. I'm like, guys, y'all lied to her for like 6 episodes.
When he said that, I was like, she really wasn't. She was harsh with Kate, I know. But not you.
She was firm with him.
Easy. I was like, okay.
Yeah. She let him off so easy. She called Kate her half-sister. That was me.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt. Yeah, that hurt. Oh. I would be equally, if not more, mad at Anthony because he's the one who's trying to like, he's pursuing her. Meanwhile, he's in love with the sister the whole time. I would be like, go get Kate, go deal with your shit with Kate, and then let's get this wedding going. But you two can get married. Like, but everyone was so angry. So, but no, as far as characters go, I liked Edwina. I think it made sense to keep her in the dark about things that really added to the story. Yeah, she was very different from the book. So Alex in the novel, like Kate's very much aware, or sorry, not Kate. Edwina's very aware of what's going on. Oh my God, Edwina is aware of her situation, and she's not being like blindsided about anything with the diary. So it was a cool.
No, she's like. She actually has a lot of pressure on her in the books. Like, Kate feels bad that Edwina has the pressure to like basically marry so well that she's able to take care of all of them. And like Edwina's whole thing is that she actually wants to marry like a scholar, like just like, somebody that's smart, but she obviously doesn't have the luxury of that choice based on their financial situation. So that's more her turmoil in there. Right. But that's a very less drama. Turmoil, so.
Yeah. We need the drama.
Mm-hmm. But Alex, I want to know what you think of Edwina. I'm so curious.
Okay, I was excited, but I was also nervous, as you guys know, because I have 2 sisters, and we are like not just sisters who are sisters, we're sisters who are friends. And I feel like a lot of siblings need to look at it and like you're either friends with your siblings or you're just siblings. And I was like, okay, these girls have another layer to their relationship because they're sisters who are friends. But at the same time, Kate is low-key. They're like sisters who are mother-daughter. Like, Kate raised Edwina. And I feel like that adds a whole other layer to the relationship. So I was not excited when it was like, hey, I have a thing for your fiance. And I felt like they went so far with the wedding, and that did not need to happen. But I liked how they made the sisters so different, right? Like with the hairstyling, like Edwina looked so gorgeous with her little side part. Like she's like the only one in the season who gets one, and I was like, okay, work. But I love the different color schemes. And I feel like Edwina, we talked about this a little bit, but like you could tell she was such a people pleaser, so we were like waiting for her to unravel and snap it. Yeah, Kate and Anthony, but I agree with Dom. I hate when there's kind of like a love triangle and automatically like the girls just attack each other instead of like going after the guy and like sorting out their.
He got literally no smack, bro.
No,
like,
none. It was giving me very like One Tree Hill vibes, and I'm like, you know what? Why doesn't Anthony take a little more responsibility? Why don't we cast him aside a little bit more? But yeah, I think Edwina, like, she was kind of a like so character for me at first. Okay. And then I realized that she's, I guess, like more complex in the sense that like there's a delicate balance between her being genuine and like disingenuous, I guess. So like she's such a people pleaser, like when they're playing Pall Mall and stuff like that, like trying to put on a brave face, and like eventually she bows out. But like in social situations, like she is like playing the role, like it gave me very much like sorority recruitment PTSD. Like it was serving that vibe, but at the same time, Edwina is really like authentic with her intentions with her family, like especially with her desire for Kate to be happy and like to have this life. Like she really cares for her sister, so I thought that kind of made her more interesting. But for me, I was just like, what was problematic about Edwina is I was like, girl, you do not love Anthony. You may think you think you love him, but you do not. So like that was a little much for me. Like it was like the insta love with him, even though apparently they had been like courting for months. I was like, I don't see it. Make it make sense.
Like it was like I just felt like that could have been handled better. Like I literally, what I said at the beginning of this, I just came up with it just now, but they should have done that. They should have had Kate tell Edwina, like, hey, I don't think you actually love him, because low-key, like, you don't really know him, but also you have to know that he does not, like, he said clearly, which also I found, like, weird that they never addressed that, because Anthony clearly said and stated that he's not looking for love.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that never came up as a topic of conversation between him and Edwina. Yeah. Which I found strange, because if Edwina is looking for a love match and is like, oh, I love him, and at some point, like during I think it's called Haldi, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, the scene where it's basically they put turmeric on the women before their wedding day, like the Indian traditional ceremony. She was talking about how she wants to know if he like truly loves her or like has passion for her. And I was like, why is this even like a conversation? Like,
yeah, I know.
No, for real. Like, it's not like Anthony has been hiding his whole I don't want to fall in love stuff. Like, it would be different if he had just been like, oh, I'm looking for like a wife of a certain status, and then I just so happen to be in love with the sister instead. But like the sister, but Edwina doesn't know. It's like, no. This man fully set out to marry, like basically for convenience and like what fits him, and he says he doesn't want a marriage with love. So it's like, where have you been, Miss Ma'am? Like, I just don't. I found that so weird, and I found that it was strange that again that Kate didn't say anything at that point. Like, it was just so weird. Like, you wouldn't want to protect your sister from someone who clearly, I don't know.
Well, I think this just goes to show, like, sometimes, like, writers, like, they themselves, there's plot holes when they write sometimes with the characters. Like, you want to make a very strong, independent woman, like as the lead. Okay, great. But then if you start getting her to do certain things that go against her relationship with her sister, you create these plot holes and this inconsistency. And then it has, like, us, for example, true fans of the show, really questioning Kate in that moment. Obviously, I still love Kate. But, like, it does, like, that episode, like, episode 6, it's like I kind of pass it over. I'm like, let's go to episode 7.
I always skip episode 6.
Yeah, it's just because there's nothing of like substance really that I need for like Anthony and Kate's plot line, if that makes sense.
And I also felt like, in general, in terms of pacing, the episode was not well paced, in my opinion.
No, because it was all in one day.
We literally spent the whole day waiting for Edwina's choice, which we all already knew what she was going to choose. Come on. Like, after the revelation, there was no way she's going to be like, yeah, we're still getting married. Like, nobody was confused. Yeah. Nobody was wondering. And I just felt like it could have been cut short. Like, it should have been, like, even if they did go to the aisle, which I still don't really agree with, you could have had, like, her run away and that be, like, a whole thing. And then all the repercussions of that after, like, even when society is shunning them and all that stuff, like, that could have been in episode 6, let's be real. Like, to immediately see the repercussions of what happened, you know?
Right.
I didn't feel like it needed to be a whole episode of us being, like, waiting on Edwina to tell us what she's going to do, even though we all know what she was going to do. So it didn't hold that suspense that I think they thought they were giving, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with the momentum of the old episodes. Like, the episodes before that, it's like, just them being silly, like Anthony and Kate doing silly things, being silly, and being like, oh my gosh, like, what are we gonna do? And then by episode 6, like, the payoff is not there, I'd say, because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we know what's happening now, like at
Right.
least, and we know what's happening in the first like 10 minutes of the episode. Like we're like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
she's not marrying him now, you know. So I felt like that was probably the weaker episode of the season.
I agree.
But
Yeah, I would agree too.
yeah, anything else on Ed? Maybe how she ended with the prince. We could talk about.
Oh,
that
I
for a
would
minute.
love to see that.
Me
I thought the
too.
prince was cute. He was sweet. I'm like, bring him back.
Yeah.
Am I toxic? I was one of the only people who last season was like, okay, I get the true love or whatever, but I was like, but you could marry the prince.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if Daphne was my homegirl and I was in real life, I'd be like, marry the prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon boy
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
way too much baggage. Marry the prince, okay? Like,
Agreed.
that would have been my thing, but I'm just.
Agreed. But to be fair, she was fully going to do it and then marry the prince, and then her brother caught her with the duke. So then that got messed up for her.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Yeah, I'm excited to see Edwina and the prince. Like if we even get to
I hope so.
see that
You
in
know
the
what?
third
We
season.
did better because Shonda Rhimes and her shows like Grey's Anatomy. There is like 30 people on that show, and I'm like, you can make some room for the prince and Edwina in season 3, okay?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, they could go see their wedding and like have stuff happen.
That would be
But
fun.
also the queen loves Edwina.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
maybe love
She
is
does.
so like
Oh, right. We haven't talked about her scene with the king,
Yeah.
which I thought was so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, the queen clearly likes her. Like, yes, she picked the diamond. She wanted it to be someone different, unexpected. And she was a good choice, of course. But I think, there's going to be something, I don't know if she's going to be her right-hand woman. I don't really know what we're going to see with that. But I did really like that the queen had a great care for Edwina. And I don't even know,
Yeah.
I don't know why yet, if that makes sense. Yes, she showed, true compassion in that one scene when the king was, unwell or very confused. And she was, trying to, help a little bit. And I think the queen found, a kinship with her or was settled just by what Edwina was saying. But I don't know. I want to see what goes down. Because it's got to be, I don't know. There's got to be more. The queen, I need more from the queen. I want a bigger storyline from her, especially with this whole whistle down drama. You know what I mean?
Well, she is getting her own spin-off series, so I feel like that scene with Edwina is even tapping into that a little bit because they are gonna make a spin-off series with her meeting King George and how that went down.
I didn't know that.
Did you guys not know that?
No.
Oh.
I did not know that.
They're
did not know
gonna
that.
make a
information.
spin-off of Lady Danbury, Violet, and the Queen. All three of them are apparently getting their own season or something. Something along those lines. Yeah, definitely young Lady Danbury and young Queen is confirmed.
I should have said this when we were talking about Lady Danbury. I want her to find love. It's okay. I just does the queen have a brother we don't know about, or there's a commoner who catches her fancy. I don't know. I just kind of want that for her.
Yeah,
that's
that
all I
would be
want.
interesting. Okay, guys, we cannot be an hour and 36 in and
Oh
not
God.
talk about
Canthony!
Dangerous.
main events.
Yes, our faves.
Canthony, we'll talk about them separately but together. But they are MVP of the season. Simone Ashley and Jonathan Bailey did not come to leave any crumbs. They ate.
Yeah.
They buffeted. Okay. First, Kate. I actually a lot of people didn't like this, but at the beginning, but then after they grew, but as soon as I saw it, I knew it was beautiful. I actually liked that Kate was kind of annoying in the first.
Annoying?
Some people,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Because I was like, this is Anthony.
Yeah.
Very
This
true.
is
Yeah.
Anthony.
In season 1.
Her being overbearing, super involved in your sister's courtship, but to a point where it doesn't help anybody, where you think you're helping but you're not. That was great to see, and it was so cool to see the dynamic where Anthony's on the other side of himself, of how he was the one doing all that. It was hilarious to me, even when he's at the beginning, Anthony said, I'm gonna find a wife this season. I mean, how hard can it be? Hastings did it. Which is hilarious because he was Hastings in this scenario. He was Simon. He was like, even though Simon wasn't actually trying to court for real, but we know, like, still you have an obstacle, which is the sister, and you're on the other side of it, and you're really seeing what that's like. And there's so many things to talk about, but the scene where they were in the mud after they fell in the mud, and then he's like, why, like, what's it gonna take to, like, make you be okay with me being with your sister? And she's like, I like the way you protect your siblings is like how I protect Edwina. And he's like, yeah, but that's different. And she's like, no, like, in every way that it matters, I am what you are to your siblings that I am to Edwina. And he didn't even dispute that, because we know Anthony has a little bit of a misogynist streak, because, you know, I mean, it's back in the day. What are they gonna do? Yeah. But even that, he was able to, like, sit down and be like, okay, like, I get that. Like, he didn't even dispute that for a second, and there was, like, complete understanding between them. They're so good. They're so good. I guess, like, let me talk quickly about Anthony, I guess, because I was talking more about Kate. Anthony is my favorite Bridgerton of all time. Sorry. They did that. The flashback scenes, like episode 3, I keep talking about, one of my favorite episodes of the entire series, period. Okay? Just seeing what he had to deal with, like, insane. The amount of pressure, it made me understand him on a level that I've never understood, like, almost any character, to be honest. Like, I was like, wow, this is, like, I understand everything that he does now. Like, every time he did something stupider and stupider and stupider, I was like, but no, actually, I understand, because we got to see inside his psyche, and it was so good. And the way that I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just talking. I'm gonna let you guys talk, because I'm sure we'll, like, jump around, but it's so good. It's so good.
No, you all know this. When I say I'm obsessed, the show's been out for what? It's been out for 2 weeks now. I think almost every other night I've watched watched a clip. Yes. And I'm not just talking about, like, going back on Netflix. Like, I've gone on YouTube and looked at all the videos. Yes. And what I hate the most is there's a 25-minute video on YouTube. For those of you who are big Anthony fans, it's every moment that they have together, and every time he intensely stares at her and simps for her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's really great. I'll send you all.
Okay, send me the link, please.
Yeah, I'll send you the link tonight. But yeah, okay, so as you all know, I think we've said this a lot, Kate was a phenomenal character. Simone, like, she truly, like, ate her scenes. Like, she was so good. Her eyes are gorgeous.
I'm like, how do I do that?
Gosh.
She is gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to say this. Okay, I'm obsessed with her eyes. There are 2 scenes where her eyes are just so intense. When she and him are,
we have the same ones.
Yelling at each other when they're yelling at each other in the study, like, her eyes were just, like, popping. Okay, that's, like, the scene. And then, of course, like, I think the episode when he's walking in, I think this was episode, oh gosh, was it episode 5? I think it would have been after they shared a moment in the study, when she's fanning herself. Watch her eyes, okay? Like, just look at them. And then, of course, the last episode with her orange dress, she looked
and the
stunning,
dance,
stunning, immaculate.
With the hands.
Oh, yeah, that was too much.
The acting.
Oh gosh,
I could spend 5 minutes analyzing that exact frame.
Of her,
looking like she's about to cry.
Yeah,
and because you don't want to leave him. And I swear, like, everybody interprets it differently, but I think she was leaning in, like,
to kiss him
for a kiss.
Me too.
Because she was like, bruh, who cares? Like, I'm going to India. Who cares what the people are going to say? And Anthony was like, I cannot, like, do that to her. Yeah. That's why he was, like, closing his eyes, clenching his jaw, and, like, looking around, because he's like, I cannot, like, we can't be, you know, because, you know, in society, like, that's not okay. So he was like, I don't want her to be, you know, disrespected like that in front of these people, but I would do it if it weren't for the people. Oh man.
Oh yeah. No, just them. They were perfection. They made me believe in love again. I was just like, these 2 are it. They are my favorite, I think right now, my favorite television couple, story couple right now, which is really hard to pick, because there are some really great tropes and characters out there, and right now they're my favorite. They're the moment for me, and I've never been so obsessed with a season of a television show before. Like, I've obviously
not like this.
Yeah, like Bridgerton season 1.
No, we are down bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are down bad.
Call the police.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So so obviously I'm a huge fan of Kate. Like, she's stunning, like, great character, very strong. Yes, we already discussed the episode 6 debacle, but I think she really redeemed herself, and her and Anthony's like story was so beautiful, especially in episode 7. Episode 7 and 8 were just the best. Like, I loved every moment. I didn't even care if I had to go sit through the Featheringtons, like, for like when I first watched it through. Like, I really enjoyed their season. Now, Anthony, listen, I need to get myself one of those fans that they use. First of all, can I just say, I was objectifying him the whole show, like the whole season.
So sorry, Mr.
This man is stunning. Jonathan Bailey, he ate his scenes. Like, I'm like clapping as if people could see me. He was so good, so talented. Like, his eyes, he's got like. Listen, he's got like these bedroom eyes, like they are intense, and like every time he looked at her, my favorite intense gaze is when he's watching her and Dorset enter like the boat, like they're walking onto the boat, and he's just like
big mad.
Oh, just like I like I didn't see this at first, but I like the scene where they're at the dinner table and Edwina's like, oh, like me and my sister are a handful, and he was like, I could imagine. Oh
yeah, I was down bad from that moment on. That one was so good. I'm trying to think, like, I literally rewatched the season just to watch their scenes, and I skipped through and I have to say, like, I need to watch all their scenes, because I love the way he looks at her, I love the way she looks at him, but he is just like, he just can't take his eyes off her, and I think their romance was so great. And I know social media took to this and they wanted steamier scenes and they wanted to see more of the romance piece, and I'm like, no, I liked this slow build, and I think it was very true to Kate's character as well, because despite despite how in love like she was starting to get, like, she knew they couldn't like pass that certain line knowing that he was fully pursuing Edwina. So like they did restrain themselves even though they had those intense moments, which almost showed like just how much more intense they were together.
Yeah.
But
their intimate scene, hello.
Oh my gosh. Like they just needed to like almost touch pinkies, and I was like, okay. I'm like, okay. All right, that's it for me. I gotta pause, I gotta breathe. But no, Anthony, like, first of all, I will say this, sideburns, huge improvement. Same with the hair. He was looking like Wolverine. We needed to see some new
they gave him the leading man treatment. Take those sideburns off, haircut.
They really fixed him up, which was nice. But like, also I know this is like so small, this is like not a huge part of like their like story, but I kind of liked that they were close in height. Is that weird that I was like kind of is that weird?
Actually accurate to the books too.
Yeah, I was kind of vibing.
Kate is very tall. Yeah,
I was kind of vibing that they were like, when they were dancing together, I found them like so perfect because they were close in height, and their dance scenes. Okay, episode
for their eyes.
Oh goodness, because they can look each other right in the eye, and I think like with anyway, okay, I can go on and on about Anthony.
Yes,
and Kate,
Alex. Sorry,
but Alex, you gotta go. Sorry.
No, I feel like I'm gonna add another 15 minutes, but also like the chemistry. Yeah, we love. They look beautiful together, but also like the acting and the writing. Like they have so many good sound bites together, and I know we were talking about like, okay, what was like the most impactful line when we were all watching it in real time, and I was like,
we know it.
Oh my gosh,
the bane of my existence line, like that hit. That was so good. And then as I've rewatched more, like I love the episode 8 line where he's like, I will humble myself for you. So good. So good.
Yes.
I like when he says, I want a life that suits us both.
I know. So what man says that? What man says that?
Like he's like, I want something, like I want to build a life with you. That's
and when he's like, I have to tell you this, like you probably won't hear it, or like you won't allow it. I'm like, yes.
Like, I know.
It was so sweet. And he's like, I don't care, but you must feel it. You must know it in your heart. Because
y'all, you just like and Alex just quoted the whole season, by the way. They just did the whole scene.
And oh my gosh, guys, when he says her full name,
yes.
Oh yeah, that was a lot. That was and fainted.
I did. And it's like a callback to when he's like, I didn't catch your name, and she's like, gotta run. So that means that he asked somebody what her name was.
I know.
Probably her mom.
Yeah, probably yeah. But
so
but can we?
adorable.
Sorry, Alex. I have to chime in because you're talking about quotes. The "go inside" line, like I like the bane of existence. Yeah, that was really romantic. But the "go inside,"
I thought the go inside would be the line that people would freak out about. Like,
yeah,
he's so bossy. He orders everyone
I love
around.
it.
I was like, oh shit.
he does.
I'm here for it. I'm into it.
But I love that Kate was like, "What did I tell you about your orders?"
It was going down for real when that was going down in the gazebo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that.
And he was just, I just remember, I can literally picture the scene where he's in the gazebo where he's like wanting to run away with you. Like, you think I want to be in this position? And I'm like,
yeah,
I
when
love
he
from
like
the start that they do that. Like, there's so many instances where it's like she's like, obviously I can't get with you because you're my sister's fiance, but he is like, I will lay it all on the line for you. Like,
bruh, this man is like,
he's like, say when and we're leaving. Like,
yes.
Yeah,
he's ready. Like, and Alex pointed this out to me before my second rewatch. Emphasis that I have to say second because I've done more. That how many times Anthony puts his heart on the line for Kate to like even give him a crumb.
Yes,
and obviously we know why she can't because like, you know, with the sister,
of course.
But he's like, say the word and I'm yours. He was ready at so many points.
Well, that's I wonder too. Listen, I'm thinking, and Alex, I want to know your thoughts because like obviously Anne and I read the book, but I want to know. So like, what if they wrote it where Antony is like, I want to marry you, like he full on says that to her instead of Edwina? Like, it would have changed the whole like season, and I think at least like we would have had to figure out like how they would break to Edwina if she was like in love with him, but we'd probably get a whole other season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's hard because even when he does say like, I want to marry you, she's like, no, sorry, that can't happen.
I guess that's true.
I want to talk about the proposal because to me that was so frustrating.
The first one.
Yes, the first one. So like when she's just had her accident and like he comes to see her on her sick bed, and he's like, what he says, he's like, oh, I didn't want it to happen like that.
Happen that way.
And it's like such a miscommunication because clearly he's like, no, I really value you. Like, I'm so enamored with you. Yeah. But like what she's hearing from it is like, oh, now he's just obligated to marry me. Like, I don't need that. Yeah. And he's trying to be like, no, I respect you and I like hold you in such a high regard that like I want to be with you, but like, you know, like I want to be married to you. So like that was frustrating, but I feel like even if before him and Edwina got engaged, like if he was like, I don't have any feelings for your sister, like I want to be with you, I don't think she would have reciprocated.
Been receptive.
Yeah, agreed.
Because she would feel there's no way she would be comfortable being with him.
No.
Yeah. At all.
That's
and I think that was part of the whole like proposal thing too. Like, even though she was like, oh, I think he did it out of honor, which I could see why she would think that because homeboy was quick to propose to her sister in episode 4 when he was like whoop, like this man is impulsive. With his things.
I do have a question for both of you. Okay, when he was like, it was like what, episode 4, when he's walking out like to go like propose to Edwina, I really thought he was gonna like propose to Kate. There was moments because like,
no way, really?
Yes.
Kate is like, what do you want? And he's like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your sister. I was like, oh my god.
No, I knew exactly what he was gonna do. I knew he was gonna propose to Edwina because after Daphne said the word love, I was like, oh no. No.
I really thought it was going to be like, I was the same. I was like, okay, yeah, he's going to probably propose to Edwina. It's going to really build the story. We're going to see all the drama now. But then when he was like storming out, it looked to me like he was looking at Kate. So I'm like, oh my God, is this happening? And then it's in front of so many people that she may have to say yes. And then I was thinking like, oh, maybe this is how they're going to go with it. But then, of course, when he proposed to Edwina, I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. But I was disappointed. But I'm glad it didn't happen that way for them, of course. But I just thought that was going to happen. I was also 4 episodes in watching it straight through, and I really thought it was going down. I really thought it was going down because I didn't know what to expect. So, First time
really
watching.
needed some reverse psychology. Like, you're so right, Anne. Anytime someone was like, oh, you need to like marry for love and like all this stuff, he's like, I will not fall in love. And like, okay, someone should have just been like, yep, get married and like have a loveless marriage, like have no desire, be miserable. And I'm like, I feel like things would have fallen into place a little faster.
Yes. Because Anthony's a little puppy dog. He literally takes anybody's. It was so cute when Benedict was like, change your perspective, brother. And he was like, okay. And then he's like, Kate, can we talk about that kiss we had? And she's like, get out of here. Damn it.
Get out of here. Oh, man. That was great.
Yeah. Sorry, Alex, you were gonna say something, I think.
Oh, I don't even remember. There's no words. I just love them so much.
I know.
Do we want to talk about because we're Anthony stands here? Mm-hmm. Maybe I know we've talked about so many moments, but let's try and pick one favorite line and then one favorite moment. I'm letting you guys separate that because I know that it's hard. It's hard.
Favorite line and favorite moment of Cantony?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so good. Okay.
I know.
I think I will humble myself before you. It used to be that you are the bane of my existence. Like, I really appreciated how feral this man was for Kate.
Yeah.
But
it's not far enough.
I think that it's different, and I like the library scene too. I know some people wanted more from the library scene, like especially with like Kate's birth mom and like her trauma with storms and stuff from the book. But I thought the library scene was cute, and like when
her eyes in that scene.
Yes, and when she finally understands, like when he finally shares like what happened to his father, like you feel the weight of that situation and like how he kind of trust her with that information and is vulnerable. That I was like, oh
yeah.
What about you guys?
I just felt like the only thing to add to the library scene, I feel like the only thing that I really wanted them to put in there that was in the books at least was in that scene they bonded over the fact that they had to be strong for their families. Like true. They specifically say like because Kate is scared of the thunderstorm thing. I didn't really care if that was in it or not, but specifically he goes like, oh, how come you haven't told your family about your fear? And she's like, well, like I've always had to be strong for Edwina first, and like everybody in my family, versus Edwina has only been strong for herself. And he goes like, obviously samesies. I felt like that could have been like even like more like cherry on top, like to really, if it wasn't obvious already, but to really show how it's obvious to both of them that they're the same person. Because I feel like that would have been really, really sweet. But sorry, Dom, go on.
Oh, no, it's okay. My favorite line was, and I don't know if this is like cheesy, but like when they are chatting in the gazebo, it's before the go inside part, which we all love. When he is telling her like he can't stay away from her, but he's saying like she needs to stop, and she's like I need to stop. He's like, you need to stop, because like he's like he can't like he's like Alex said, he's feral, like he can't control his desire at this point. And I loved seeing him because he was like letting loose with his words, which I almost like appreciated more, as if instead of him like just grabbing and kissing her, you know what I mean? Like I think like him saying this to her and then her saying the exact same thing, like she matched him every single time. Anytime like he would like give her something, like at first she wasn't giving it to him, but then episode 7 she really gave it back, because like he is also affecting her just as much. And my favorite scene though is definitely his love lament to her outside in the garden. I just thought that was stunning. I'm a huge fan of like these period dramas, and it was just amazing. So that is definitely the scene for me that did me in, and it was just beautiful that they were finally on the same page. Like I was just like into it. I loved it. So
seems like we're finally seeing eye to eye on something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Tell me why I've memorized all the lines.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. It's so hard. There's just so many good ones. I think my favorite line. Okay, how am I cheating? I'm gonna pick 2. I'm cheating. I can't believe I did this. I'm breaking the rules. My favorite lines is between when he's confessing his love, and he says, I love you. You do not need to embrace it, allow it. You know, knowing you won't, but you must feel it because I do. Oh my gosh,
that was
like,
beautiful.
He's holding his arm. I guess that's my favorite scene. I should say that's my favorite scene. That whole thing is my favorite scene.
Exactly.
That's what I'll say. My favorite line. It's either I really like when Anthony's playful, so I guess it's between the please go inside. I just something about that, like, just oh my gosh. Or I like when he says Kathani Sharma. I think that was really like, so it caught me off guard. I was like, whoa. But okay, actual favorite line is like that whole speech of like, I've never met anybody like you. Like,
yes.
My family hates me. They're in ruin, so but all I think about is running away with you and like wanting to be nowhere except next to you. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Agreed.
But actually, the scene I've rewatched the most, which is gonna be random, is when Newton comes.
Yes. Oh my god. Yes. He cannot keep his eyes off her. That was amazing.
Yes.
It was intense.
Scene where she's like, oh my gosh. And when Edwina is like, I've always been this blind. Yes, sis.
Yeah, we all saw it. Oh my gosh. That was great. So we're all in agreement. Cantony was the best couple. I have a question I do have a question for both of you. Do you prefer them over Simon and Daphne?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious.
I thought you were gonna ask what do we want to see of them in season 3, which
that's a good question. I like that. How would you answer that?
Oh, but sorry, just to address the Simon and Daphne. Simon and Daphne, at first I thought they were really, really good. Like when I first watched them, I think there was like this high, like I was like, yes. Because to be honest, there aren't a lot of shows like Bridgerton where they really take time to like build romance. Yeah. Like over, like, I don't know. I guess like usually in shows where they build romance well, I actually enjoy it because it's usually shows where they're not concentrated on the romance. Like it's just like a slow burn for some other thing. But this one, I felt like this show in general like loves rom-coms, and it's clear. I definitely feel that in all the stuff they do, like they really like that romance and they're dedicated to that. So I was really enamored by Simon and Daphne just because they were like the first couple that I'd seen that really did that, like in that way. But now that Kate and Anthony have entered the scene, I'm like, Simon and Daphne, they kind of hated each other halfway through the rest of the season, so I wasn't really into that. Versus Kate and Anthony, bruh, both of them had to go through such a big character change, I think, like learning about themselves a lot. They both had to come to terms with their traumas and their like emotional wounds before being together, and I love that so much.
I will,
like, there was
I will say that, like, especially with the Duke versus Anthony, like, I messaged you guys and I was like, not every male Bridgerton lead having daddy issues. And I was like, please, no. But, like, with the Duke, I didn't understand, or I guess, like, empathize as much with his story. It was like, his dad was terrible. Like, he should not have been abused and treated that way. But, like, with Anthony, like, he literally witnesses his dad die right in front of him. And then he takes care of is forced to like kind of grow up like overnight and like take care of 7 children while his mom is like grieving and MIA. So like I don't know, like not to like rationalize or be like, oh, like one person's problems are like more justifiable than the other, but like I found myself like believing and like connecting to his story more.
Yeah, for sure. Because I felt like the conclusion made more sense to me than Simon's did, per se. Like, I know that obviously emotional trauma and wounds don't necessarily have to always make sense because you're obviously, it is irrational in a sense. But Anthony, it was just clear to me, like, how you would see the world that way of, like, you know what? Marriage should just be about kids and stuff. And it's not even a silly concept because he did say like most people in their society don't have true love matches, you know? Yeah. And so I think he's even in an environment where that's allowed and people are okay with that. And it's hilarious that his mom is so anti that, like she's so completely on the other spectrum, but because he's seen like how that impacts everything that he knows and loved and stuff, he's like, it's better to not even deal with that and to not have to deal with all of that trauma that other families seem to be okay with. Like, not to compare, but like Lord Featherington died and Portia keeps moving. Like, it's,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So he's probably looking at that and he's like, you know what, I would rather that than have to do, you know. So I thought it was way more like deep, I guess, in that sense.
For sure.
Yeah. Do you want to talk season 3 quickly?
Yeah. Well, do you want all of season 3 or just like Cantony? Like just some big thoughts we have?
Actually, yeah, I guess let's go, you know, we're running over time, but we can quickly go off things that you really want to see. Let's go top 4 things that you want to see in season 3.
Ooh,
or top 3.
okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I am ready. I think obviously they're just based on like what we've been talking about, more Cantony scenes, but as like a married couple. I hope they don't do a time jump. I mean, I won't be mad about it, but like I just kind of want to see them like playfully in love, and then also their day in day out, because we saw the build up to their final moment when they finally get together. But now I want to see like him simping for her in all of season 3. So that's like a big one. Second, not about Cantony. I do want this season to be about Eloise. And I will not be mad if it's also about Colin and Penelope. I won't be upset. And my reason is because they can only get this show to go on for so long. I know Shonda wants to do 8 seasons, but I don't know how realistic that is, especially with Netflix.
I think 8 is ambitious. Yeah.
Especially with Netflix. I agree.
Netflix rarely goes over 4 seasons, and when they do, it's usually not a Netflix original. Sometimes it's like a show they just added on. So like I'd be very, very surprised unless they get, I don't know, maybe unless we know some that aren't like that. But I would be okay if they combine their seasons, because Penelope and Eloise have a lot of unfinished business. So I would so be very curious. I do want to see, of course, like more Violet, Lady Danbury, and some more stuff with the Queen, I think would be great for season 3. But again, like, I think my priority is really building on Eloise's storyline. She's supposed to get with this Philip guy. So I'm really curious. And we said we would like to see like a Mr. Darcy vibe with Philip for Eloise and give her more Lizzie Bennet vibes. Yeah. So I really hope they go that route. I feel like we're good at calling things with Bridgerton. Like sometimes it's like a little cliche, like we know what's going to happen. So I'm really hoping they go that route. For Benedict, we need to build on Benedict a little bit more. He needs work. And I would like for him to be bi. I really think this would be important for the show, because I think we're all thinking the same thing. Like he does give gay vibes, and that's okay. And I think that would just make him very interesting. And I recognize that would just change the whole trajectory. But I would be very curious to see how they did that. And I'm trying to think, like, I think those are my main ones.
Yeah,
and
you said 4 things, yeah.
Yeah, that's for me though. Yeah.
Do you want me to go next, or are you up next, Alex?
I'll let you have the last word. I think I will have one demand that I feel like nobody else will co-sign. But for me, I felt like the music wasn't as great this season. Like there were we love Robin, obviously. The Dancing on My Own, Sign of the Times was great. I love like the cultural nods to, like, those were awesome. But for me, I need at least one Taylor Swift cover each season. So that is something that I want, especially if they do like Penelope and Colin next season. I feel like there has to be some Taylor Swift.
Don't put You Belong With Me, y'all.
Oh,
y'all
God.
Out of pocket if you
no,
do
that.
No,
right? Not that. But they need some Taylor in their lives. I feel like it is going to be Penelope and Colin, and I kind of see, like, Eloise taking a back seat. Like, I don't think their friendship is necessarily going to be solved. But we'll see about that. But yeah, I feel like characters like Eloise and Benedict, like, need a little bit more time. And I'd also like to see Francesca, like, I'm like, give her one scene, give her one speaking line, please. Like, just anything. Like, she is the forgotten middle child, if there ever was one. I'd like to see Kate kind of, like, mentor Eloise and, like, also be more of, like, a mother figure for, like, the younger Bridgertons. Like, I don't know, I just, like, hope that they keep her around and they give her some good material. Oh God. And I hope Penelope does some groveling. Like, we might need to see Eloise get in some terrible carriage ride accident or something. But I'm hoping that they can persuade me because the writers do be working some magic. So we'll see.
Yes.
What about you, Anne?
This is what I'll say. This is probably going to be controversial because I don't think most people would say this. I know you can't go back in time. You can't change a time machine. But I wish they had made Benedict more important this season so that his season could be the third season. Because I think Colin, Penelope, and Eloise all need their time to flesh out, like, as characters more before getting their dual season, which I think would happen in the fourth season. Like, I think that would have been the perfect order, right? Because I think having Penelope fall in love with Colin without addressing her friendship with Eloise will be so weird. Because it's like, you're marrying her brother. Like, that's just weird. Like, and you're going to still be, like, beefing with his sister. That doesn't make sense. And I feel like Eloise would just be like, she's Lady Bridgerton and she's the one who ratted you out in Marina. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it would make sense. So, yeah. I wish that Benedict was season 3. I know that's not going to happen because I don't even want a season 3 Benedict right now. But I'm just saying, like, low key, I feel like if he is season 3, we could kind of spend more time with Canthony because they could bring.
That's true. They might have to carry it.
Right? Like, like to not really give Benedict his whole flowers, have him be a little bit of a side piece to his own story. I'm so sorry, but they didn't give Canthony as much screen time as Simon and Daphne, so maybe they gotta split it, if you ask me. That's what I think. If it's not clear, I want to see more Canthony everywhere. I want to see them doing mundane married couple things. I want to see them in the Bridgerton house. I want to see them go to parties together. I want to see him, like in the books, beeline to his wife immediately, pushing people out of the way. I want that. I want to see it all. I want to see it on screen. I want to see it with my best friends, Simone and Jonathan. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I do want to see Kate and Eloise get along. I feel like that was very, like, hinted towards in this season, and I feel like they could just easily wrap that in beautifully. So if it is an Eloise season, having Kate, like, mentor her would be great, because it's like, I feel like Eloise asked her how she feels about being a single woman, like, in society, right?
Right.
And she now sees her married to Anthony, so I feel like she'd have a lot of questions about that. Like, of course, how did you go from, like, I don't need love, I'm good to be independent, to, like, being with somebody and being okay with that transition, like being okay with not having the same goals that you once had? Because I think that would be really, really, really nice for them to have together. And then the last thing I need is them to redeem Colin. What is this?
Oh, true. Okay?
Yeah,
get it together.
Fair.
Bring my boy back. Bring him back from season 1. I don't know if he was drinking too much tea. If you catch what I'm drinking, you know what I'm saying? His tea drugs. If you need to explain it with that, because I don't know who this man is. Okay, I'm sorry to this man, because who is this? Not my Colin, please. So bring him back. Yeah. But okay, guys, this was a long episode. We literally put out everything that we felt. I still feel like I could talk more, but you know.
I know.
Yeah, we don't want to do that to Monica.
We don't. It's terrible. But thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed Canthony as much as us, you should give this this podcast 5 stars. Like it, do whatever you can, because Canthony reigns supreme. I don't know what else to say. Thanks, Dom and Alex, for coming. This was great.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. I'm glad we had a good time, like we do. And we'll be back for season 3.
Yes.
Yes. All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. This was lovely. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Are we okay to stop the recording? Okay.